2024 has been a really exciting year for budget in-ear monitors, especially the ones that you'll find for under $25 US. The Truth Ear Gate, supposedly the successor to everyone's favorite IEM, the Truth Ear Hola, has been making headlines almost everywhere for its excellent tuning. And on the other hand, we have the studio version of another all-time popular IEM, the Tangzu Warner, which has become untouchable in its segment for a certain demographic. Now, I know I'm super late to this party, but in this video, we are going to talk about both these IEMs in detail and find out which one is right for you. So let's cut the chase and dive right in. So starting off with what I'd like to call the presentation. Both the Truth Ear Gate and the Tangzu Warner SC are beautifully packaged. You cannot expect a lot at this price point, but even then, these two brands are here to make sure that you're greeted with something special when you open the box. But differences start to creep in once you get to their build qualities. The Truth Ear Gate feels a bit cheaper compared to the Warner Studio, even though both of them are built out of plastic. And even the nozzle of the Warner Studio feels more premium as it has a metal build compared to the plastic unibody nozzle of the Gate. Now talking about the design of these IEMs, I know it's pretty subjective here, but the transparent shell design of the Truth Ear Gate feels like a love it or a hate it. Now I personally don't mind having this kind of a design in my shells, but the Warner Studio, just like the OG Warner SG, is just pure art. And truth be told, the black version of the Studio has probably the most beautiful shell design for $21 IEM. Alright, now speaking of the cables, it certainly goes without saying that the Warner Studio has the most pathetic cable out of the two. Just look at how thin and flimsy it is compared to what you're getting with the Gate. The Truth Ear Gate's cable feels much more premium, and it's definitely not prone to getting tangled up as easily as that of the Warner Studio. Okay, next up are the ear hooks, which I feel are below average for both these two IEMs. The criticism that is received by Tangzu's newest memory hooks is not something new, but what was even more surprising is that the ear hooks of the Gate is not that far behind. Of course, these are not memory hooks, but these do not like to stay over my ears when I wear the IEMs. And it becomes a real pain in the back, especially if you're wearing glasses. And I don't think you can change the shapes of these ear hooks as easily as the Warner SC, so that's definitely a big bummer. And I would actually prefer having the ear hooks of the Warner Studio in this case. But that is only when you know how to twist and bend these to shape your outer ears properly. Now both these in-ear monitors have really low impedances, so they can be driven by any 3.5mm audio jack belonging to your laptop or your phones. But like always, I would really urge you guys to invest in a portable dongle DAC, like for example the Audiocular D7, as it will help power any IEM that you'll purchase later on down the line. And it will definitely drive these two IEMs as well. So with all that being said, now let's talk about the most important thing, and that is the audio quality. And I'm really happy to say here that you actually can't pick a winner out of these two IEMs. They're tuned exceptionally good for the price, they have a really good soundstage, so let's talk more about that. The Truth Ear Gate comes with what I feel is a very balanced sound signature. If you compare its frequency curve to that of the Truth Ear Hola, they might seem pretty similar at first, but in real life, the Gate is not as warm sounding as its predecessor, and it is also much more resolving and cleaner than the Truth Ear Hola. Now on the other hand, the Tangzu Warner Studio is tuned almost similar to the OG Warner SG, but it comes with lesser bass and a bit of enhanced treble this time, and this makes the Studio Edition bring out details that is totally unheard of in IEMs at this price point. So let's try and compare the sound signatures of the Gate and the Warner SG. And for this comparison, I have selected two really beautiful test tracks. The first one being Teri Faryad, an absolute gem of a duet by Jagjit Singh and Rekha Bhardwaj, and of course everybody's favorite, Hotel California by Eagles. Okay, so first up, let's talk about the bass. The bass in the Truth Ear Gate feels pretty tight, having a good attack and decay, and the sub bass is also decently implemented. But I felt it could have been extended a bit more. So when we compare the bass to that of the Warner Studio, it'll definitely feel a bit less pronounced compared to the Gate. But you will certainly feel the controlled aspect of what a good bass should sound like, and that being said, it is the Studio that has a better and prolonged decay than the Gate, making the bass feel a lot more natural. Next, talking about the mid frequencies, here also the Truth Ear Gate does a pretty good job in my opinion. It definitely leans more towards the upper mids, and that results in crystal clear vocals with a lot of body and life to them. But at times you might feel a little bit of shoutiness in the female vocals. Male vocals on the other hand, it's all good and well resolved and no complaints from my side. But the Warner Studio just blew me away with its mids. Since the bass is much less pronounced in this IEM, both male and female vocals are rendered beautifully and there is not even a hint of shoutiness anywhere. Now that being said, I did feel the male vocals to be a bit dry sometimes, as in they lacked that warmth and the body, but in terms of the overall details of the vocals, the studio definitely excels. In fact, it is by far the best mid-range rendition out of an IEM at this price point. Okay, so finally let's talk about the treble. The Truth Ear Gate has a nice sparkle in its treble. It's airy with a lot of details being perceivable, but at times I felt it to edge towards sibilance. But it never becomes sibilant, so that's pretty much a good thing. But it is nowhere near to that of the Warner Studio. The details in the treble are just way better than what you get in the Gate, and there's absolutely no sibilance in the Warner Studio as well. Now, speaking of the soundstage and technicalities, I would say the Gate has a more or less focused and intimate soundstage, while the Studio has a much wider and more horizontal soundstage. Technicalities are fairly decent in both of these two, although I would say the Studio has a bit of an edge here with respect to layering and the overall dynamic range. And for a $21 IEM, I have to say the Warner Studio has the best resolution out of all the other things that I've tested so far. So just like I mentioned earlier, the Tangzu Warner SE and the Truth Ear Gate are amazing IEMs for under $25 and everything just boils down to the type of listening experience that you are opting for before you're selecting any of these two IEMs. The Truth Ear Gate is an overall balanced sounding IEM with good soundstage and technicalities that most users will prefer listening to, and it has become my go-to recommendation for people looking to buy a decent IEM at this price point. It's definitely not for bass heads, but that being said, you'll be surprised at how wonderful it sounds like when you put these bad boys inside your ears. The Tangzu Warner Studio Edition, on the other hand, is not for casual listeners at all, because in my opinion, it is targeted more towards purists who are trying to extract the minutest detail out of every track out there. So it's perfect for activities like mastering audio tracks. In fact, this has become my go-to IEM for mastering all my videos on my channel. That's how good the Warner Studio is. Alright, so that is pretty much it for this video, and I really hope you guys got some value out of it. The links to purchase the Truth Ear Gate or the Tangzu Warner SE are there in the video description, so make sure to check it out. And for more such videos like this, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next one.